Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Insuring India, a podcast by Digit Insurance. I am your host Sabri Saran, and on this episode, I want to focus on the backbone of our Indian economy. Let's talk about small businesses, SMEs, and MSMEs today. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but small businesses contribute about 45% of India's manufacturing production and 40% of country's exports. MSMEs are in fact hailed as the backbone of our economy as they contribute over 30% to India's GDP and employ over 40% of India's workforce. But what many of you might not be fully aware of is that a business is exposed to various types of risks on a daily basis, and an MSME or a small business is no different. While big corporates or MNCs might be well equipped to weather a storm, small businesses or MSMEs might not be. This brings me to the importance of insurance to the fore. What type of risks are these businesses exposed to? What type of covers are actually available for them in the market today? And are they really worthwhile? To talk this and more, I have with me today Rajiv Singh, Chief Technical and Risk Officer, Digit Insurance. Rajiv, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast.
Thanks, Sabri. Thank you for having me.
So, Rajiv, I'll jump right into the question. My first question is that this is a fairly new subject because we don't personally see a lot of people talking about insurance cover for small businesses and MSMEs, right? So, just for context, can you begin by telling us what type of risks are small businesses and MSMEs typically exposed to?
Thanks, Sabri. Yes, it's true. Both the penetration and awareness for general insurance product other
Right.
than motor is very low.
True. Yeah.
And that becomes very evident whenever we read about any natural catastrophic event and the resultant gap between the economic losses versus insurance losses.
Right.
What always we see is that so much crores of economic loss has happened to a location.
True.
But when
Yes.
we see or calculate the amount of the insurance claim that has been paid, because very few people are covered typically,
Right. Right.
so the gap is very huge. So any entrepreneur or proprietor should always start his risk identification and assessment from a scenario that may impact his business or
Right.
enterprise as a total loss. Few risks that can be identified are like flood, cyclone, earthquake, which all can be categorized as an act of God perils,
Correct. Yeah.
or fire originating within the premises or outside. Riots, we have seen burglary leading to loss of contents and valuables, even
True.
terrorism
Yeah.
is there. So, risk is not only limited to the physical damage to the assets, but the future earning or income till the
Right.
time the business is back to the normal prior to the loss. And this time lag can be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, depending upon the nature of damages.
Got it.
So, and one more point that I would like to highlight is these industries are primarily run by individuals. And if
True.
God forbid anything happens to the bread earner, it greatly impacts the normal business operations.
True.
So,
Very true. Yeah.
similarly, few risks which can't be transferred are
Mm.
business competitions, price fluctuations, government policies, and others, but they have a drastic impact on the business. So these are few can see the risk factors that I can recollect, which are devastating or may have a total loss impact on the businesses.
Right. Got it, Rajiv. So, Rajiv, you spoke about, natural calamities, fire. You also spoke about burglary. But I want to understand how real are these risks? What kind of claims are the ones that you see most commonly? Because I know that you have been in this industry for a very long time. And the reason I'm asking you this is that while we might be aware of few of the risks you spoke about, but many may not realize how common these are, or would they even need such a cover or not?
Yes, Abhi, we are having this discussion at a very critical point when we
Right.
are hearing of economic losses due to cyclone and heavy
True.
rainfall
Yes.
in various parts of the country. The northern part of the country is impacted.
Yes, very
The
true. Yeah.
states of Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab. And we have experienced huge losses to the building, contents, stocks, machinery due to the flooding because the intensity of the floods somehow has increased, and that is causing a severe damages to the assets that are owned by SME or MSME entrepreneurs. And to reinstate the business back to normal, as we can understand, involves huge funds which lead either to loans or debt of permanent closure if not insured.
True, very true. Yeah.
So what we earlier discussed, that is losses of permanent, or can say, or devastating nature,
Right.
should be immediately protected or transferred to the insurers. Secondly, we have seen fire losses leading to partial or total losses, and
Right.
this we would have heard or seen during our summer times. That is fire due to short circuit or spread of
True,
fire
yes.
from the neighboring shop or factories spreading to your own factory or shops.
Right.
Riots or burglary also we have seen frequent losses in some parts of the country. Such
Right.
incidents also impact the future earning of the business till the
True,
time
yeah.
the damages are reinstated back to the norm. And earlier what we have discussed is that the owner or the proprietor should always take a cover against the accidental death or natural death, and as well as they should cover their employees under the workman's compensation or a normal health policy.
Right. Rajiv, I want to now focus on the product part. Can you tell us about the different types of covers or options that are actually available to small businesses and MSMEs today? I believe there is some standard product by IRDA too, just like how we have Arogya Sanjeevani cover for health insurance. So if you can just explain what all are the products that one can look at if one has a small business or MSME.
Thanks, Ravi. The penetration of insurance in India is low in the terms of non-motor product. So
Right.
this we have discussed in earlier part of the discussion.
Right.
And to address this concern, so IRDA has come out with two main products. That is Bharat Sukshma Udyam Suraksha, and this is catering to the micro industry where the value of the risk is not more than 5 crores.
Got it.
So that's why it is named as Sukshma. And Bharat Laghu Udyam Suraksha policies, where the value of the risk is more than 5 crores but less than 50 crores.
Got
And
it.
these are a very standard products. So that is available across all the insurers in the industry and in the terms of coverages, features, and taking the requirement of the SME and MSME industries.
Got it.
The advantage of these products are certain coverages which was available earlier as an add-on with some extra premium in our
Right.
traditional fire product has been incorporated as inbuilt cover.
Okay.
As when we talk about low penetration, so similarly we have low awareness. So earlier the flexibility of opt-in and opt-out coverage has been redundant and has been made it as a compulsory inbuilt cover in these two products. So few examples I will take, like spontaneous combustion that is required for cotton industry or any other storage, removal of debris in the event of a claim, professional fees, startup expenses, terrorism. So now this all coverages are inbuilt. And to further innovate and expand, the market has packaged products which involves these two products that we are talking. And in addition to these two coverages, either the Sukshma or Laghu, we have burglary, machinery breakdown, electronic equipment, money, fidelity, workman compensation, so that our client or insured is covered for all his perceived risk into a single policy.
Right.
And in addition to this, there are various liability products also available, because now if we see that this backbone of the industry, that is SME, is going global also, and they need such products. So various, I can say, coverage under the liability, that is D&O, professional indemnity, CGL, even cyber is there, and they should always take a trade credit coverage also for their exports. And finally, we should not miss the health and the personal accident cover.
Oh, yeah, I think that is one of the most important covers. And we saw that especially after COVID too.
Yeah, true.
Right. Rajiv, I now want to focus on the term that we use today, right? SME or MSME. It is such a broad term that is used. But the truth is that the business type, the cover they need or require, etc., may vary drastically based on where they are located or the business they are engaged in, etc., right? So if you are someone who today has a small business, a startup, an SME or an MSME company, how should they really look at the insurance offerings available to them? And what are some parameters that maybe they can adopt when looking for a cover?
Okay. So when it comes to insurance, the first and the foremost important thing is working out, can say, the sum insured or value at the risk to be declared by insured to an insurance company.
Right.
So determining the value at the risk for any SME or MSME, so they have to take out the various heads. That is, we can say building, machinery, stocks, further bifurcated into raw material, finished goods, furnitures, fittings, electronic equipments, and the reinstatement value. Again, I will repeat the reinstatement value. And
Right.
so reinstatement value we can understand, or you can say in layman language, we can put it across as the value of the assets if we have to replace, as we discuss, posted loss.
Right.
So basically, if our machinery is damaged, now he has to buy a new machinery. So the value of the new machinery should be considered by the insured as his insured value.
Got it.
And secondly, as I insure, we should always remember one basic principle of insurance, that we should always act as if we are uninsured. And
True,
it's
yeah.
our responsibility that we should take adequate risk mitigation measures in the premises or the location that is covered against fire, burglary. So we should always think of and should ideally have the protections through fire extinguishers, sprinklers, hydrants. Depends upon the nature of the risk that is there.
Right.
So that in case of any event, so the loss minimization can happen, or even a bigger loss can be avoided. Safety, security arrangements like CCTV, security guards, etc., to prevent burglary, theft. EMC should be in place for various critical machineries.
Right. Okay, so Rajiv, can you tell us about some unique covers or add-ons that are available in the market today that specifically small businesses or MSME should look at? Because I know that you spoke about flexibility earlier, so I'm pretty sure that if such add-ons are available, it would give those individual businesses that flexibility that they're really looking at, and especially from a premium point of view, right?
Yes, Sabri, there are multiple add-ons available in the market, and that has been the differentiating factor for various insurers in the
Right.
market. But they are very common and some very frequently required add-ons that we should always think of taking or while opting any insurance policy relating for covering property. So I can say startup or shutdown expense. So covers necessary and reasonable expenses incurred by insured post claim.
Right.
Rent for alternate accommodations. This provide the expense for the alternate accommodation in case the insured building is unfit to occupy post claim.
Right.
Deterioration of stocks due to fire in the premises. Escalation clause. This is also very important because normally, if we see that we fix our sum insured at the inception of the coverages, and the coverages are basically 12 months coverage, and the
Right.
prices do go up. So this escalation clause helps to protect that inflation of the sum insured during the currency of the policy. Accidental damage, because there can be some damages happening to machinery or other assets
Right. Yeah.
due to accidental means. Professional fees, architect fees, so that becomes also very important post loss, because post loss the client has to go to architect for the redesigning of the structure, removal of debris. So here we can think of that, okay, due to fire the complete building is damaged, so
Right.
the demolition cost as well as the removal of the debris of the building, so that need additional expenses.
Yeah, true.
So that also through add-ons that also gets protected. So when we talk about reinstatement or restorations of damaged assets, so these
Right.
add-ons help basically to cover the associated cost also.
Got
And
it.
that's why it becomes very necessary to select and opt in for the add-ons that are primarily necessary for your business operations.
Got it. So, Rajiv, I'll now come to the most crucial part probably of this podcast, because whenever we talk about insurance, the instant question that everybody asks, not just limited to this line of business, is how much is the premium, right? So, I also want to talk about the pricing or the premium a bit with you, because for a lot of businesses, especially MSMEs and SMEs, price point or affordability is a crucial factor. So I want to ask you this question in two parts. A, how expensive or affordable are the insurance covers for these businesses? And B, are these pricings very rigid? Like, are there any ways one can look at bringing the premium down in some manner?
So the affordability of an insurance cover for MSME
Right.
can depend upon various several factors, including your size and the nature of the business, the industry or the occupancy of the risk, the level of the risk that is involved in business operations, the location, the coverage limit that you are seeking for. And so there are various factors, but I will say that the market is competitive
Right.
and every insurer is trying to provide the best possible price they can offer. And if we roughly put it, the premium rating in general insurer for property basically works on a per mille, that is per thousand. And the
Okay.
premium ranges from basically 25 paise to 2 rupees per thousand sum insured. The
Okay.
simple the risk, the lower the premium, the more complex the risk, higher the premium. And when we talk about Sukshma category, that is MSME,
Right.
small scale industries, the price is very competitive and very low. I will say it's more of lack of awareness that is restricting the spread of the coverages for such a segment than the
Right.
premium. And when it comes to bringing down the premium, one should look at the coverages they need.
Right.
But at no place or no such situation should happen that because of the premium you are compromising on the coverages. So that I will never advocate
Right.
because
Makes sense. Yeah, true.
so in a competitive market, the insurers are very comfortable in charging optimum premium if the condition of the risk is good. Suppose if we take an example, if a risk is adequately protected with fire extinguishers, sprinklers, or even if they have hydrant, smoke detectors, will always attract a lower premium rate, and always because the perception of the risk is low over there for the insurers, and you will find more take up for such kind of a risk as compared to a risk which is doesn't have even a fire extinguisher. Similarly, a risk located near to a water body will attract a higher risk premium and deductible, and as against a risk which is located at a higher elevation and far off from the water body. Similarly, we can take another major risk like earthquake. For the risk, which are situated in Himalayan belt, Uttarakhand, Bhuj, Assam, J&K, in high seismic belt, will always attract a higher earthquake rate.
Makes sense, yeah. So, Rajiv, I'll just leave you with this last one question. You have been in this space for a long time, and I just want to ask you this. Like, on top of your head, can you recall any two or three unique, stories related to the claims that you saw, where having an insurance cover for the business actually came to their rescue? This is just, for our listeners to know of actual incidents that businesses go through in the real world.
I will say there are multiple claim incidents.
Right.
And how the insurers have come to the rescue of the insureds. But instead of going into a single claim incidents, I will be happy to share few NatCat events and its devastating nature on the insured property. We have seen widespread damages due to Mumbai flood,
Right.
2005, Chennai flood, in 2015 Srinagar flood. So these
Right.
are some few, can say, harrowing incidents where the whole city is almost submerged into 10 to 20 feet of water. And these are some incidents where we have seen the whole industry. So I'm not talking only about the insurer. I'm talking
Right.
about insurer, the regulator, the surveyors, and all other agencies
Right.
who has come together with a single objective that how we can support the claimant with immediate relief and contributes towards the individual in their fight for survival and back to normal life. Have seen insurers going even beyond just survey, helping the claimants beyond the policy terms and conditions.
Right.
Even have seen it, the survey being conducted on boats with a single objective that it's the time for the industry to deliver it back. And we have done it. So very
Right.
happy
True.
to
Very true.
very happy to say that we have tested and come out with flying colors in the time of need.
Right, true. I think people actually don't realize how crucial or important insurance becomes whenever such a catastrophe strikes.
Correct.
Right.
But definitely it's again the same thing happens for the individuals also because we don't take cancer. We have seen and noticed the example, but we don't take the learning out of that. In simple, normal language, if we say that ये उनका problem है हमें नहीं होगा कुछ.
Yeah, I think that this is what we discuss here also, like the optimism bias that people have,
Correct.
that
Correct.
they're very optimistic that
Correct.
something bad wouldn't happen to them.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. That was really an insightful conversation. I'll let you go now.
Thanks,
Thank
Abhi.
you.
Thanks for your time and inviting me.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and joining us on this Insuring India podcast.
Thank you.
We hope you all enjoyed this conversation, and we do hope that this conversation catches on and more small businesses and SMEs and MSMEs look at insurance to protect themselves adequately. That's all on this episode, folks. Do subscribe to us to keep getting notified whenever we drop something new. Thank you and see you next time.